Look at Team USA right now. They are dominating the pitch, relentlessly outrunning opponents who are 10 or 15 years younger. How is an American player pushing his late 30s able to maintain the exact same explosive energy in the 90th minute? The media will tell you it is just American heart, national pride, or intense practice. But structurally? Biologically? That is mathematically impossible without biological intervention. Their secret is not just better training. It is elite mitochondrial optimization. And here is the critical part. They are manipulating the exact same biological mechanism that is currently failing inside your own body. If you are an American over 50, waking up exhausted and relying on caffeine just to feel somewhat functional throughout the day, you are not just getting older. You are experiencing a systemic cellular energy crisis. Your biological battery is fundamentally degraded. I am Dr. Anya. Welcome to the Team USA Longevity Playbook. Today, I'm going to show you the exact cellular biohack elite athletes use to generate endless energy, and exactly how you can reboot your own biological engine starting today. Let's have a completely honest conversation. If you are over 50, think about how you felt when you woke up this morning. Did you feel completely rested? Or did you drag yourself out of bed feeling like you barely slept at all? For most Americans, the morning routine has become a survival protocol. You reach for that first and then second cup of coffee. You aren't drinking it for the taste. You are using it as a biological crutch just to feel functional. And even with that caffeine, by 3 in the afternoon, you hit a massive wall. The brain fog rolls in, and your physical stamina completely evaporates. You might find yourself thinking, I guess this is just what getting older feels like. I need you to stop accepting that narrative right now. You are not just getting old, and you are not being lazy. What you are actually experiencing is a documented systemic energy crisis occurring at a microscopic level. Think of your cells exactly like an old smartphone battery. The hardware is physically degraded. It doesn't matter if you sleep for 9 straight hours. The battery simply cannot hold a full charge anymore. You can drink energy drinks all day. But if the microscopic engines inside your cells are physically incapable of producing power, you will remain exhausted. So what is exactly breaking down inside those engines? Let's look at the science. To understand how elite athletes completely defy their biological age, we have to look inside your cells. Deep inside every cell in your body, you have microscopic power plants known as mitochondria. These tiny structures are responsible for a massive task. They take the food you eat and the oxygen you breathe, and they physically convert it into the pure chemical energy that powers your muscles, your heart, and your brain. But your mitochondria cannot do this job alone. They require a very specific, non-negotiable fuel to keep the engines running. This vital molecule is called NAD+. Think of NAD+ as the spark plug for your cells. When you were in your 20s, your body was absolutely flooded with NAD+. Your power plants had an unlimited supply of fuel, which is why you could stay up late, recover instantly, and never experience chronic fatigue. But here is the devastating biological reality that doctors rarely mention. By the time you celebrate your 50th birthday, your natural NAD+ levels have plummeted by over 50%. It is a biological cliff. Your cellular engines are literally starving. Without enough NAD+, your mitochondria cannot convert food into energy efficiently. They slow down, become dysfunctional, and your entire body is forced to operate on half power. That morning stiffness and that afternoon brain fog are just symptoms of this starvation. But what if you could manually refill the tank? That is exactly how Team USA players are bypassing the aging process. Now, you might be thinking, if my cells are starving for NAD+, I will just buy an NAD+ supplement. But it does not work that way. The molecule is physically too large to pass through your cell walls. If you swallow it, your digestion destroys it. Instead, elite athletes and longevity experts use something called cellular precursors. These are highly specific molecules, most commonly known as NMN or NR. This is the exact biological workaround keeping veteran players on the pitch. Think of these precursors as the raw, microscopic building blocks. Because they are much smaller, they slip right through your cell membranes. Once inside, your body instantly uses them to manufacture its own fresh NAD+. When you supplement correctly with a precursor like NMN, you are essentially force-feeding your starving power plants exactly what they need. You are manually reigniting the engines that have been slowing down for decades. Within just a few weeks of restoring these cellular fuel levels, the biological changes are profound. That heavy morning brain fog, it lifts completely, replaced by a sharp, immediate mental clarity. Your joint recovery accelerates dramatically, dropping the systemic inflammation that causes morning stiffness. And your natural physical stamina begins to mirror the energy levels you had in your 20s. You are no longer relying on a temporary caffeine rush. You are actively rebuilding your hardware from the inside out. But there is a catch. The things you are doing every single day might be destroying this exact molecule. You can take all the cutting-edge cellular precursors in the world, but if you are actively poking holes in the gas tank, your energy levels will never recover. Right now, the entire country is tuning in to watch Team USA. And while the players on the screen are meticulously protecting their mitochondria, the way most Americans watch the game is actively destroying theirs. We need to talk about what is rapidly depleting your NAD+. The two biggest assassins of cellular energy are alcohol and highly processed carbohydrates. When you consume a few beers and a plate of fried stadium food during a match, your liver goes into absolute overdrive to process those toxins. To do that, your body is forced to consume massive amounts of your already limited NAD+ supply. You are literally burning up your most precious cellular fuel just to process the junk food. This is exactly why you feel so incredibly wiped out the morning after a game, even if you didn't drink heavily. Your cellular fuel was completely drained to manage the sudden spike in inflammation and metabolic stress. You are waking up with a biological battery that is running on absolute empty, making the brain fog, the fatigue, and the joint stiffness infinitely worse than before. Listen, I am not telling you to stop watching the World Cup or to stop enjoying your life. I am telling you that you need a biological strategy to offset this exact damage. And if you cannot afford expensive supplements right now, there is a completely free mechanical biohack you can use tomorrow morning to force your body to create new mitochondria. Your body is an incredibly adaptive machine. Elite athletes don't just rely on supplements. They use something called hormetic stress. This is a scientific term for applying a tiny, perfectly safe amount of environmental stress to your body. This brief stress forces your cells into survival mode, triggering them to build brand new, highly efficient power plants. And the best part? The two most powerful triggers for this biological adaptation are completely free. Step 1 is optical stimulation. Within the first 30 minutes of waking up, before you check your phone or watch the soccer highlights, you must get outside and expose your eyes to natural sunlight, even if it is cloudy. This specific frequency of morning light hits the receptors in your retina and sends a massive high-voltage signal to your brain. It immediately shuts down your sleep hormones and manually kickstarts your mitochondrial engines for the day. Step 2 is thermal microstress. Tomorrow morning, at the very end of your warm shower, I want you to turn the dial to the coldest possible setting for exactly 30 to 60 seconds. Yes, it will be deeply uncomfortable, but that intense thermal shock forces your body to rapidly generate internal heat to survive. To do that, your cells literally have to build entirely new mitochondria on the spot. 60 seconds of cold water and 10 minutes of morning sunlight. This is the foundational, zero-cost protocol that every elite player on Team USA uses to maintain their cellular hardware. By forcing your body to adapt, you are clearing out the rusted engines and replacing them with fresh power plants. But if you want to take the next step and use clinical precursors to speed this up, there are strict safety rules you must follow. If you decide to accelerate your recovery and purchase a cellular precursor like NMN, you must be incredibly careful. The supplement industry is highly unregulated, and over 60% of the NMN sold online is either completely fake, underdosed, or severely degraded. You must only purchase from reputable, science-backed brands that explicitly display a third-party certificate of analysis. You are looking for a clinical purity level of 99% or higher. Do not waste your money on cheap imitations. They will do absolutely nothing for your starving mitochondria. And most importantly, this is powerful biology. While optimizing NAD+ is generally very safe, if you have a history of severe cardiovascular issues, active oncology treatments, or complex metabolic diseases, you must consult your primary physician before starting any new clinical protocol. So, here is my direct challenge to you for tomorrow morning. I want you to wake up, ignore your phone, get 10 minutes of natural sunlight, and finish your shower with 60 seconds of freezing water. If you are ready to stop feeling exhausted and reclaim your biological engine, go down to the comments right now, make a public commitment, and type the words, "I will optimize." But having the energy to watch the next Team USA game won't matter if your match day snacks are silently destroying your metabolism. In our next episode, I will reveal the match day fasting protocol so you can enjoy the game without aging your cells. Click the video on your screen right now, and I will see you there.